What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. Today is our UFC 311 recap. It happened this last Saturday. Guys, let's get into it. It was overall a great card. Not great for our pockets in terms of betting, but we can't complain. It was a great card. Had some great finishes, crazy upsets, some good fights. We're going to start at the tippy top. Islam Makhachev submits Renato Moicano in the first round with a Darce choke. Short notice fight. It does suck for Moicano that the fight went the way it went, but what are you guys' takeaway from this fight?
Um, I mean, I have two feelings that are kind of like, they kind of conflict each other. On one hand, it's like you can't fault Moicano for like going in there, stepping up against the champ on short notice. Especially when he was prepared to fight Dariush, a much like less dangerous striker, much less dangerous grappler, like way more willing to just kind of like have a transition fast in the grappling department. Like Islam's not for none of that. He's strong as hell. Better striker. Like he kind of like had Moicano beat in all areas. So like we don't even know like how much Moicano is necessarily training like submission defense and defensive wrestling and all of that for Dariush. But so I mean, props to Moicano for stepping up. At the same time, I definitely thought that he would make give a better account for himself in there. Um, I thought he was gonna put up a bit more of a fight. I thought that like he was gonna come in there with nothing to lose and kind of like I don't know, make things a little interesting early. Um, I figured he might get clipped and knocked out, but at least like I thought he would like just kind of go balls to the wall instead of like finding kind of a cautious ticky tack fight until like Islam just beat you quick because he's better than you. You know what I mean? I also thought that like he hadn't taken too much damage on the ground in the first round, and he could have made it to the bell, made it to like another stand up, but like he just kind of like tried to get up and stuck his long ass neck out there, and like with the neck that long, like Islam jumped on that shit instantly, and it was over. So I mean, like props to him for stepping up, but like I think he could have did a little better. I think he's a little bit disappointed with himself.
Um, yeah, I think Islam just proved he's the pound for pound number one right now. Um, I know John Jones is here, but one fight in 5 years doesn't make you pound for pound one, in my opinion. But Islam just proved out there, great wrestler. I said in the preview, Moicano and Oliveira very similar. They'll try to work from the bottom. Not the best at getting back up at times. So I figured it was gonna be tough for Moicano once it hit the ground, and he got caught in that arse like very instantly, and that was crazy. I gotta say, like Islam might be a better sub artist than Oliveira. I gotta admit it. Like that squeeze is like crazy. Like from the angle he got it so easily. Like Moicano tapped instantly. But honestly, I did like what I was seeing from Moicano. Like I feel like he at least came out, just threw the first couple of punches and got a rhythm going. I liked the feints that he was throwing. Like I liked he was at least not doing. I didn't want him to be the counter striker in this fight and go for takedowns. Like that's not the strat I wanted him to come in with. So I liked he opened it up in the fight, but Islam had a nice clean 1-2 on the feet with a head kick as well. Left hook, I believe. Um, it was a short fight. I'm not surprised at all Islam won the way he did. I thought probably it'd be at least go to the second round, but nah, it is on just through different levels out here.
Facts.
Yeah, definitely. The Armin fight, I'm sure, would have been more competitive, but it is what it is. Shout out to Moicano stepping up last minute. It was sad to hear, man. After the fight, Joe was like, it was on short notice, and Moicano responded. He was like, "No, this was a lifetime notice. I've been preparing for this my whole life." Like, damn, that's a brutal quote. But he still has a bright future. He's still a fun name. He still has plenty of fun fights to make. You can rebook him with Dariush, Patty. Let's move on to the real discussion after this fight. It's what's next for Islam now. Dana, I think, said he doesn't want to just directly book the Armin fight right away.
is pissed. Dana is pissed at Armand. You
Oh,
can
he's
tell.
mad. Yeah, he's mad. He hates when fighters pull out of events last minute. He
I
definitely holds grudges.
I think also, to be honest, I think from what he said at the post fight presser, like he doesn't really feel like he had to pull out necessarily. Um,
Oh,
so like Dana's basically he was basically saying like, oh, we went to the doctors, the doctors were kind of saying he was kind of hinting that like the doctors were saying that he was kind of fine type shit, or like he could have fought or whatever, it wasn't too bad or whatever it was. Like he was just very displeased. He said, "Yeah, no, he's gonna go back to the drawing board. We'll see what's next for him." Dana's pissed, man, and that means that he's gonna have to, I think, fight at least twice before he earns his way back to a title shot. So, I mean, that's just
damn.
boom, like back of the line, Armand. Damn.
I, I kind of want to give my take is I think you honestly should rebook the Armin rematch. Like this situation sucks. I know the back thing. I don't know the merit in it, but I do think that is the fight to make it lightweight. I don't want to see Islam move up. He literally just broke the record. He does deserve a second title shot, but he has that thing with Bilal or whatever. And I think Armin is still the most compelling fight in the lightweight division. It is a rematch. We haven't seen it in forever. I would fight Armin next, and then at the end of the year, fight Oliveira or vice versa. But I think for 2025, Islam should fight Armin and Oliveira, and then you can move up.
I mean, this is what I'll say. If
But
Arman's not getting the title shot, give it to Oliveira. If we're just waiting around here,
They will. They will.
if he's not moving up, he should have gotten the rematch. Like that was in the works. He had to pull out because of a cut above his eyebrow, which are like the worst cuts. He should have gotten the rematch already. So I think it's fair. But to be ultimately fair, I would just pit if you're gonna do this with Armin, just have him and Oliveira rematch. It's a close fight. I don't see why not. Just have him rematch for the shot.
Okay. I don't hate that.
maybe in a 5 rounder, you know what I mean? So Charles can lock out one of those subs.
That fight got to happen soon though, because I don't want
So
Islam
who
on
you
the shelf for
talking
a
about?
while.
I'm gonna take a bit of a different approach than you guys on this one because I would say like Islam been the ultimate company man. Um, Getting in there against whoever the UFC says, short notice, whatever, ultimate gangster man. And he's been talking about going up for so long. I think that depending on the timeline of the Shavkat like Bilal fight, Bilal even said that if he beats Shavkat, he would be willing to go up just to avoid fighting Islam, which is like crazy. But like then maybe they would have to run like a Leon Edwards Islam for the vacant title situation. Like I don't know what the situation will be, but I honestly think that Shavkat's gonna win anyway. Either way it goes, though, like I think that maybe if for timing reasons and the fact that Islam took like very little damage in this fight, we want to run one more. That's fine with me, at lightweight. But I think that in 2025, Islam has done enough to deserve his shot at going up and trying to make history, double champ shit. You know what I mean? We've let people do it with a lot less like to their resume than Islam, and like I think that he deserves that. I think that he's of that caliber, and like he's in his prime right now, and I feel like he deserves that,
No, I agree with that. I
especially because
say yeah,
wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you good.
Especially just considering the fact that like we keep talking about who is there really to fight him. Like it would be fine if we let lightweight like simmer down for a little while and like let a true contender emerge. You know what I mean? Especially since Armand definitely squandered their shot, and Dana is petty, and like we know how he operates. Regardless of what you think is right, we both know that that's how Dana operates. Like Dana is petty. If he says that shit, he's not gonna just go back on it. So
Yeah, I think that's also a
Yeah, I
valid
mean,
route.
go
no,
ahead, Clark.
you good. Go ahead.
Oh no, no, I was just agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just feel like timing wise, it doesn't really work. Because I mean, they haven't even booked the Bilal, unless they just want to do Bilal versus Islam straight up and just skip over Shavkat.
No, that's
Like,
not an option.
yeah, I just feel like they haven't even booked it yet. It's probably going to be, and Shavkat had some kind of injury, and Bilal has some kind of foot injury. I don't know what injury he has, but so I think at earliest this would be like June, and I just can't see Islam being out that long, especially like how easy and quick the fight was.
Yeah, I didn't say. I said I didn't say like I say he should have one more fight, but then be able to
Oh,
like later in the year like go up and challenge it. I've said
Okay,
because of the timing, like not the next fight, especially because he took no damage, like you said. Like he should be able to get back in there in like 3 months, whenever they can get another a fight book for him.
for sure.
I just
I
think that before the year's up, he needs his fucking shot.
I agree with that.
All right, guys. Well, let's move on to the co-main event. A lot more compelling of a fight. Umar versus Merab. Umar looked really good at the beginning. Like, very impressive striking. Looked very quick. Great wrestling defense. But Merab has infinite cardio, and he was able to take those last 3 rounds. I had it yeah 3-2 from Merab. He just kind of took over. Umar looked good, man. I think he'll be fine. Like he's definitely going to be back in the title picture. But shout out to Merab proving everyone wrong, stopping the Habib, camp hype train. This is a huge legacy-defying fight from Merab and performance. What were you guys' thoughts on it?
Yeah, I would say like this was clearly Marab's like toughest test to date. Even considering the fact that uh, apparently Umar broke his hand in round one, and that definitely I think helped him out a little bit. I kind of saw some times where like there was a lull in the striking from Umar where we normally would see him popping a jab more, and I was kind of questioning like maybe it's just because he's so worried about the takedown threat. So I was kind of dismissing it, but like to find out that he broke his hand like in round one, I thought that he did admirable considering that. But yeah, like you said, Clark, or yeah, I think it was you, Clark. Infinite cardio, man. Infinite cardio. Um, like I was really impressed. His toughest test, and Umar didn't make it easy. In rounds 1 through 3, like I can't really think of a fully secure takedown that Marab got. Um, if anything, like it was really quick, and Umar popped right back up. So I mean, like the takedown defense was on point, the counter striking was on point, and like I think a few times he cracked Morab coming in, made him have to like reset. But like you said, eventually like Morab the boogeyman, and like that cardio will wear down on you. And then even like by the end of it, once Umar started to tire out, like every little like feint, like at a takedown, like and Umar would just damn near jump and sprawl, like it was kind of like okay, you can tell that how like concerned he is with it, and like that's when Marab was pointing at him, laughing, you know what I mean, having fun in there. Um, Heavy on the theatrics, but yeah, I thought it was a great all time performance for Marab for sure.
Yeah, I thought this was the most technical, best title fight ever in the bantamweight division. I was really impressed by both. I feel like at full strength, though, Umar is the better fighter just from what I saw early in the fight. The fact he was stuffing all the takedowns, the creative striking, the body kicks were on point. I just wish he, threw a few more calf kicks out there or any leg kicks. Like, slow these wrestlers down. That's how you slow them down. So I feel like he should have been on that a little more, but the body kicks are nasty. I remember in the second round, he was defending a takedown and he did the splits, got back up with like a double body kick, dodged a punch, left hook. Like that was nasty. I was like, holy shit. But as we found out though, he just couldn't handle the cardio, man. As the fight just went along, you could just see he was wearing it the whole fight from round three and on. Like I feel like the fifth round he came out decent. It definitely was probably his best of the later rounds.
I agree.
Um, but Merab got a nice punch off in the last few minutes and a nice few takedowns as well. So it was Rap City. Merab just proved like he a beast, man. Like I kind of want to say he's the GOAT, but I feel like he should have at least one more defense on his books for me to give him that title, but he's probably the best fighter this division's seen to this point, and he would have beat Aljo's ass. Let me tell you, whooped him.
Yeah, he has the best cardio, I think, in UFC history. I mean, is that a hot take?
I'm comfortable saying that, to be honest. I am
You
comfortable.
might, bro. It was crazy, by the way. That like he was walking back to the corner, fourth and fifth round, just
Standing up,
completely fine. Just like man, just like I swear he wasn't even sweating out there. Like that's how crazy it was. I was like, damn, this is a different level of cardio.
And 135 is one of those weird divisions, kind of like coming up in his ascension to the title. Merab beat a lot of the guys that are top contenders, besides like Corey Sandhagen, who's coming off a loss. So like it looks like his next match is going to be a rematch with either Jan or O'Malley. What do you guys want to see next from Merab, or who was the most deserving of a title shot,
I,
most
I'm,
deserving. I
or who do you think the UFC will book? Either
I
or.
could I could really see the fact that O'Malley hasn't been booked yet. I could see them just sliding him back in there. Um, they want like just to capitalize on that money. Um, but I think I would like what was Cheeto's last fight?
no.
No. What was his last fight?
Um, what did Cheeto fight last? Let me see.
Uh, I believe he fought is not so Munoz.
I could look it up.
He fight someone else.
Cheeto Vera.
Or maybe have like I would say have Jan and Sanhagen run it and then like give the winner of that a title shot.
Oh, he last lost to Figgy, so he's on a two-fight losing streak. Sorry, wait, what did you say?
No, I just said I would run Piotr Jan and Sanhagen in like a title eliminator and then like maybe they'll give Sean O'Malley the title shot in the interim, but if not, if Merab like is injured and shit, I know he was complaining about he broke his back or something like that. So if he needs some time off, then like it should line up if they run Sanhagen Jan and then like give that winner to Merab.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I would like Jan. Maybe, I mean, Jan versus Sandhagen, cool with me to give my boy a title shot. We'll see. But I think Sandhagen would need a few more wins. But I guess since the division's kind of dry right now at the top for contenders, I wouldn't even be mad if they just reran Umar, to be honest. That was so great.
I wouldn't be mad at it either. I think that just because of like how definitive Merab beat Jan, like I just think he needs like a new challenge.
I feel it.
Like Merab kind of runs over these guys to the point where like I kind of feel like very few people have done enough in there against him to make me feel like they can something might be different in a second fight. O'Malley maybe, and then definitely Umar. But like who else has like looked even competitive in there? Like no one really.
Yeah. I think, dude, I feel it. I feel like they're just gonna run the O'Malley rematch back. I think they want to take Umar a step back, have him win a couple more fights just because he still is young in the game and he does not have the most impressive resume. Like Sandhagen and Merab were big step ups for him. So like I would like to see Umar fight some of those contenders we're talking about. I see them just giving the most popular guy the title shot in O'Malley.
I
I
agree.
see that. Yeah, some UFC PR. I can see it.
And it's a compelling fight. People still love O'Malley. He still has maybe the best shot slash style to beat Merab because, dude, to beat Merab, you got to put him down early. You got to put him down, put his lights out. And O'Malley has the best power in the division, probably.
Oh, I hope O'Malley takes out that whole gym. I hope he takes all of them out.
Like, unfortunately, like I think that they're gonna save this matchup for like down the line, given the timeline of both fighters. But like, if the UFC was just at all, they would literally have O'Malley and Umar fight in a title eliminator. But like, obviously, we know that they're gonna keep that fight in the pocket for like later in their careers, especially considering like they're both like on the same like age kind of timeline track. For like when Marab's out of the division, this could be like a potential title fight down the line. It'll be like a bigger deal then, but like Like you know that like the deserved thing would be like have those guys run it and then in a title eliminator.
I could even see them doing O'Malley Yan too.
That'd be
Very
epic.
controversial first fight. I'm also someone who thought Yan won that fight, honestly, personally. So I think that'd be interesting as well.
Guys, let's move to the featured fight of the night. Yuri Prochazka knocked out Sweet Dreams Jamal Hill in the third round. What a banger. War on the feet. He knocked him out in the third round. Yuri got performance of the night bonus for this. This stings, man. I wanted to see Jamal get a win, but you can't hate on Yuri. Arguably one of the most, if not the most entertaining fighter in the sport. Every sport's a banger, or every fight's a banger. It just seemed like Yuri was too much for Jamal. He had way more unorthodox strikes, so much more bigger arsenal. Jamal looked hesitant at times, didn't pull the trigger as much as I wanted him to, but he still had a great showing. What were your guys' thoughts on the fight?
I thought that Jamal Hill gave a good account of himself in there. I think that with Yuri, we know that in every one of his fights, it kind of plays out the same. Um, he's gonna get hit, but early on, his herky jerky style is kind of confusing for fighters. A lot of people have like struggled with him in like round one. He's gonna come forward like 90% of the fight. Doesn't really take too much of a back step, and I think that until you rock him on the feet or at least hit him with something that like makes him kind of a little more hesitant, he will keep pressuring you. And like while Jamal Hill did get some good shots off in there, I felt like he never landed the one shot that like truly earned Yuri's respect or like put him on notice. And that's fair enough when like when like your last two knockouts, like your last two fights have been getting knocked out by Pajeda. It's like, yeah, once you felt that kind of power, it's like, okay, well, I can deal with anything that's not that. So I think that like Yuri's pressure allowed him to come forward and clip Hill. And then I think that even though Hill kind of recovered decently, um, the momentum, I think his eye was like badly swollen up at the end of round one, and like the damage was piling up. So it just kind of snowballed on him. But really great fight between both guys, or both guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought this was the most complete fight I've seen from Yuri Prohaska in the UFC. I thought he was very patient and was doing he was brilliant in the distance control, just through the feints. The best footwork, even though he was doing his herky jerky stuff, at least he had good footwork behind it this time, and it's the best I've seen from him. It felt like Jamal was just out of range a little bit the whole time, and I was surprised Jamal wasn't quicker in this fight than him. Seemed like the speed was very even. But I feel like the biggest difference at the end of the day in this fight was the power, and I think the clear power edge was from Yuri. Um, and he just found the mark plenty of times. I think he just had more weapons in the arsenal. Like I said, the distance control was great. I thought his timing was amazing. I thought this was the most complete fight I've seen from him in his UFC career. Um, and yeah, I thought both fought well though. Jamal definitely got his in there. He couldn't handle the like really hard shots, and it kind of cost him the fight in the end.
Yeah, with Yuri, man, usually it's like he gets hit a lot before. He did get hit a decent amount in this fight. Like, Jamal hit landed like over 80 strikes, but still, he never really got rocked in this fight. And like you said, Clark, his game was really complete on offense. So like, Yuri's not getting hit and he's on like that. It's just really scary. And the only person that's really been able to put him down is Pereira. Like he's been lit up by like yeah Reyes and Rakic, but they don't put him down.
And to be fair though, Glover had him on skates too.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is,
Glover too. Glover, yeah,
I mean, like, that might just be the Brazilian power.
I guess so. Hey, same camp too. So
Exactly.
maybe. But Yuri's kind of in a tough spot, man. He is clearly the second best in the division, probably, but he's lost twice to the champ. And
Uncle
both.
Lion,
Oh, sorry. Uncle
hey,
Ive
hey,
is getting the title
hey,
shot,
hey,
but
hey, hey, we're gonna calm down with those.
wait, my bad. I totally forgot. But
Yeah.
Yuri still is basically at the top of the division. He's beaten a lot of these guys besides Ink and Alex Pereira. And like he fought him twice already, and respectfully, those fights were not all that competitive. So as long as Alex is champion, I don't see him getting a title shot very soon. What do you guys want to see next from Yuri?
Like you said, man, I think Yuri's in a tough spot here. Dana even was asked in the post fight presser, like, yeah, I know he's already had the two losses, and he kind of like he didn't say never. He didn't say like a definitive no. He was like, yeah, we'll see what happens with the timeline, which to me sounds like well, like basically like a way of not like saying no, but like saying no. You know what I mean? It didn't sound like he was like in any rush to really remake that fight to me. Just body language, watch what I was reading, but he did say that like we'll see down the line because he was like no one I guess would say no to that fight. So I think that like maybe with like two more wins or like one really impressive win, like maybe Yuri could maybe if someone falls out, or I think like his best shot at the titles might be just be like another one of those short notice, like you know what I mean, fluky ones. Because I don't see him really them booking that unless they absolutely kind of have to. Maybe I could see him running it with Ulberg. To be honest, give Ulberg Yuri and see where
I
he's
think
at with
Goldberg has a fight.
really against
I
who?
think Goldberg's fighting Jan Blachowicz.
Oh shit.
Yeah, which is a banger. Shout out Jan Blachowicz, super underrated fighter. I know he's getting old, but he's been injured, but like very underrated.
Well, I would say just run the winner of that fight then,
Okay.
in a title eliminator of sorts for the other for the people coming up. Really,
And with Jamal Hill, I think it's obvious him versus Roundtree. I think that's an obvious fight to make.
maybe I was gonna say, man.
That,
Unfortunately, black on black crime, but like
that's a badass fight.
That
I
would be
think
good.
both guys have a horse in that race, I think. Alrighty. Anything else on this fight, guys?
no, I'm good on this one.
Uh,
All right, let's move down to Jalton Almeida gets performance of the night bonus, beating Sergey Spivak in the first round via TKO. Down goes the polar bear. Shout out Almeida. He's gotten two nice dubs before or after getting pummeled by channel of or a friend of the channel, Curtis Blades. What were you guys' thoughts on this fight?
Uh, I mean, I was impressed with Almeida. Um, it's kind of how I thought the fight was gonna go. Outside of, I didn't think that Almeida would like kind of play on the feet for as long as he did. Um, I knew that like at some point I saw like Jalton Almeida on the ground being able to get to a dominant position and either find a finish via choke or TKO. But like I thought that Almeida showed that he's kind of like getting a little bit more comfortable on the feet. Didn't immediately shoot for the double leg how he's done in most of his fights coming up. So I mean, I just see kind of like him trying to like work on rounding out his game a little bit as he climbs up to the top instead of just like maybe just instead of working and striking at all, just he could just like steamroll all the like most of these guys, I would say. But then when you get to the top and you can't just do that to somebody, what do you have on the feet? I see him kind of like working on his game, and I respect it, man. I think that he still has a lot of promise. He called out Cyril Gahn. I mean, I think that that's a great matchup for him, even though like I think very highly of Cyril Gahn, but like he has a clear like grappling deficiency, so I do not see the UFC making that fight. But especially when they want to like cheat and give Cyril Gahn fluky wins over Volkov, like they're clearly pushing agendas. So I don't really see them trying to like match the two of them up. But like I feel like it's a good call out for Gelton.
yeah, I thought both looked good. I thought Spivak. I was surprised he was able to get the takedown on Almeida, to be honest, and have as much control as he had. But great, Almeida had a great sweep in there, just completely lifted him with his legs. The man's I love Almeida, man. he's kind of a meme fighter, but like he's a very skilled meme fighter. Like, and I could see this man just being a lot of guys just taking him down and wearing them. So I do like the call out from Gon, and I'm a big Gon guy. Um, who cares that Volkov didn't get that decision? Like, who wants to see Volkov in the title shot? Like, it was whatever, man. Like, I do feel like Almeida though, there is a lot of draw. Like the fact what they're at heavyweight, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like he'd probably be too small for like Aspinall and like John Jones. Like he's a very small heavyweight compared to them. So I don't know if his wrestling would be very good in those fights, but like I can see him getting a title shot soon, being as dominant of a wrestler as he is.
I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know what his like body fat percentage is, but like honestly, like I think he gets in there around like 230 something, right?
He's in
Like
crazy shape.
I mean, like could he go down to light heavyweight? I think he could really make hell down there, like against these
That'd be
guys.
scary. Yeah.
He was down there. He moved up.
Mm.
It was probably just too much for him then. But
I think I like what he showed on the feet too. Like this is the most probably maybe the most he's shown in a minute, at least in the UFC. He's just spamming takedowns, which has been working for him. And I think the UFC might make the Gon matchup. I don't think the UFC is too keen on giving Gon a title shot, especially if John Jones beats Aspinall. There'd be like it just wouldn't make any sense. And maybe they could do Almeida versus Volkov if they want to give Gon the title shot. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
like you said, Clark, he's just a
feed him
fun
both.
guy to watch.
Yeah, feed him both off, man. Feed him both off.
All right, though, guys, let's
Volkov,
move.
I
Oh,
could
go
see
ahead.
I could see Volkov like doing better than Spivak in that matchup, to be honest.
Oh, he would give him fits on the feet, like badly, I think. But Almeida could take him down. That'd be a good
Yeah.
fight. But guys, let's move down. First fight of the main card. Rainier DeRitter submits Kevin Holland 331 into the first round. Guys, before we get into DeRitter, what's next for him? He has a really bright future in the sport in the UFC. We got to have a talk about Kevin Holland. What is good with Kevin Holland? It's just been very weird since he had that one really successful year. He was looking like the new cowboy of the sport, kind of low key, just putting on really fun fights. Now it's just like, oh, this was a very bad performance. He's lost two of his last three. His last fight, too, he kind of just, I don't know, he broke a rib or something. What's up with Kevin Holland?
I think that I think on some podcast clip I saw, like I mean, this might just be him trolling, but I don't really think it is. He kind of was like explaining that like he makes more than a lot of like he makes a lot like per fight just because of like his deal and like how he would rather just be like the cowboy like of the division kind of and just like the guy who fights a lot, the company guy, just like get paid by being active as opposed to like really climbing the ladder because he was like for him like the cost like the reward versus the cost like in terms of like how hard he would have to try is not worth it. And when I heard that I was just kind of like like you know what I mean, like I understand like from the human being in me it makes sense, you know what I mean, like as a person who would like obviously I would like to get paid the most to do the least, right? That makes sense, but like even though like technically he's fighting more, but it's like if you're not really trying to fight those higher echelon of guys, or like you're not really like really trying that hard and training that hard, then it's kind of like you're showing up for paychecks, really. And like, while I get it, and I still like fuck with Holland, but it's like it's getting to the point where like anyone who can grapple a lick, you have to favor them to beat him, and like he just refuses to. I mean, even though he has like good jujitsu on paper or solid jujitsu against lower level comp, but like I just see the same deficiencies in his game every single time, especially when he goes up to middleweight. That's why he should stay at welterweight. I mean at welterweight, but like he's like weight cuts are work, you know what I mean? Like so it's just kind of like one of those things. It's like if you don't care enough to do the things that you need to do to actually be successful, then I don't know how much I can believe that you're gonna win fight to fight.
Yeah, I completely agree. Um, I mean, he's 1-4 in his last five, I believe. So, I mean, as much as I appreciate him being entertaining, he talks the talk. He's just got to improve in the grappling and wrestling, and that's about it. It's my fear of Cyril gone here. This is what could happen to him because Kevin Holland is just he's improved his submission game, but the actual takedown defense, it's still as bad as it's always been.
And his getting up, like where are his scrambles, like to get back to the feet, like where's any of that?
Yeah, just no improvement really, except in the submission game. But uh the Ritter is very elite down there. Um and I knew if he got the takedown very early on, this was going to be a very difficult fight for Kevin Holland to win, and exactly what happened. Dominated down there, got the rear naked choke. Easy dub, man. A little disappointed in Kevin Holland, especially to hear that. Sounds like he's not trying that hard
Yeah, that's terrible.
to improve. So that's tough. Uh, I hope he puts on interesting fights because I still like him. I still hope he succeeds, but
Definitely.
it's tough to hear.
Thing is, he's a fun watch. It's just,
The mentality's not there.
yeah, exactly. Like it's like I said, like the human being in me, it's a mentality I can understand. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he just fights more. He doesn't really care if he wins or loses. He probably just it's probably like in his contract he gets paid to show like a decent amount. So
Oh yeah.
it's like yeah, like I'll come in there, I'll get a knockout bonus, 50K here or there. But if I like just get wrestle fucked, then at least I don't take that much damage. And if I get subbed, it's like I don't take that much damage. Just you know what I mean? It's like it's not like he's taking so much damage in these fights in these losses. It's just like getting wrestle fucked or like subbed up.
Yeah, it's just especially I didn't know that. That really sucks to see or hear. No matter like how much we meme on certain UFC fighters, I promise you they're trying 100% to win and make it to the top. Like no matter where they're at, I assume usually. And yeah, I thought Kevin Holland would be the exact opposite, getting like 5 fights in a year. I thought he was like, you know, pushing for that title shot, but
I mean, honestly, it might be like a coping mechanism. Honestly, like at some point, he might have just kind of told himself that, started telling himself that, and like actually adopting that mentality. I'm sure there was some form of him that was locked in when he was on the rise. Things were feeling good. He was winning. You know what I mean? I'm sure he didn't always just plan to be like this, but I think that you fight, you feel a Hamza, you get wrestle fucked a couple of times, and you kind of just start to accept. I think when he's in there, I think he's trying his best. I just think that like he's not working on his game enough to like actually make these improvements or at least like let me actually cut the weight and go to 170 where I have the best chance at success, like long-term success. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I'll take a fight here, I'll take a fight there. Like I just want that money. And it's like I respect it. And I enjoy seeing him in the cage often, but like it does come at a cost. So it just seems like he's kind of made his decision on that. And I mean, it is what it is.
let's move over to the Ritter. He looked very impressive performance. He's 2-0 in the UFC right now. He's got all that hype because of his championships and won. I mean, how good is this guy and what do you want to see from him next?
I'm not gonna lie, I think he has a ceiling, man. I just will never be able to get out of my head the images of him like having a back and forth like on the feet slog with like Mearshart, Gerald Mearshart. I think that if that's where you're at, like I mean, shout out Mearshart. Like I'm not like no disrespect to him, but like for you to just be like on the feet and just kind of like going back and forth in the grappling department with Gerald Mearshart, like that is a very clear ceiling in this sport. In this, you know what I mean? Even though he got the win, but like I don't see him like making the top five or like succeeding really up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he's an elite enough wrestler and grappler to get up there, especially in the middleweight division.
But
Where
how far though? To get how far though?
like top, like edge of top five, but I don't think he could beat those guys just for the pure fact his striking defense is horrid. I saw that fight for
and
some.
and his cardio.
I think the cardio is okay. It's not the worst I've seen, but like against the top five, I think he would struggle.
You would think he would get. You think he would beat a Vittori?
I think so. Style wise, yeah.
Yeah,
I
we haven't
like
seen Vittori in a minute. He definitely has a lot of momentum also. Like,
that's the thing. Victoria hasn't like where is that man?
I don't
Where
know,
is
man. And
that
Cannonier
kid?
beat his ass so bad that like
Told you I Cannoneer was gonna put it on him.
he still has the greatest chin of all time.
He
Bad.
still put it on him at 38.
He's a Lord of the Rings orc, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out Vittori though. All right, let's move to the prelims. We do have some things to touch on here. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Minus 1100 Peyton Talbot loses to Barcelos. Kind of just got wrestle fuck dominated on the ground. Just a harsh reality check. I don't think it's over for Talbot, but this was very concerning. What were you guys' thoughts?
I thought that like while we did all believe in him and like everything he has done in the UFC to this point gave us no indication that this was gonna happen. But we addressed it in the lead up to this fight. This was a giant step up in competition. One that we kind of assumed based on what we had seen in there. The eye test told us that he would be ready for it. But the reality is, Marcelo's a wily vet in there. He's been in there with a lot of guys. He's felt like some of the best guys in the division. So it's like he just put a grappling pace on Peyton Talbot that he had never felt before. Peyton Talbot, I mean, to his credit, he stayed composed in there. In the striking, I thought that his good cardio showed through. When he got to the feet, he was like landing good strikes. He was like, making it seem like he could catch Barcelos with something. Barcelos was tiring out more than he was. It seemed like if he could stuff a few takedowns, like he could really turn the tides. He started kind of flowing on the feet, but like he couldn't really for any sustained period stop the takedowns. So I mean, the fight played out how it did, and he got like grapple fucked to a pretty dominant, like not dominant, but like very one sided decision. Like it was very clear that like he lost all 3 rounds. Um, Even though he had moments in some of the rounds, but like he just couldn't keep Barcelos off of him, and back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I think like the two fights right before this, I think experience was just very key here.
And all.
Just coming in with the game plan. I thought Barcelos did a good job of just closing the distance, not let Talbot strike at range, and just get him down. Because all we've seen from Talbot is just amazing striking, great power. So it makes sense for Barcelos to do this, especially since he is a little chinny. Um, but I thought he fought well. He did his thing out there, wily bet. Just showed his experience. I knew Talbot shouldn't have been a minus 1,000 favorite. I knew that was ridiculous. I think he did would win the fight though, but I thought like a minus 300 was much more
Realistic,
makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah, so you know, I guess I'm not like super shocked Parcells won this to be honest. Like I'm a
On,
little surprised,
on
but
paper, it makes sense that like this could happen at least in a sport that we know is very unpredictable, and people have duds all the time. Um, and sometimes like a fighter on the rise gets a reality check, and like it's perfectly okay. I don't think Peyton Talbot I think that he sees that he has to take his grappling a lot more seriously. Again, if he wants to, reach the aspirations that I think he has for himself. I think that he didn't take very much damage in this fight, so it's not like it, will change him in any way. I think like if he locks in and like applies the right mentality, I still think he could be a title challenger in the future in this division. for sure. It didn't like it was a momentum check, but it didn't ruin like the potential he has. He's still very young, and I still fuck with him a lot. Very promising still, but I mean, I just think he's got to get back to the drawing board and shore up some things.
Yeah, yeah, it's not over for him. He'll be fine, I think. Hopefully, man. Um, anything else you guys want to touch on the prelims?
Um,
Shout out Gooskov, man.
Shout out Guskov, man. Change of opponent. Billy Elikana had him like wrapped up for a while too, like early. Had him like in a bad position on the ground. Fought through it. He was like, "I'm not losing to you on short notice. Fuck this. Like this is my spot." Defended his UFC honor. Um, Shout out Grant Dawson. Russell fucked Diego Ferreira the way he was supposed to. Um, didn't get like randomly knocked out. So shout out him for that. Getting momentum back on his side. I am kind of worried that like the way he fights it, there is like a very clear ceiling to that. Like if you don't ever really work on your striking game and you are a bit chinny, then I think that like he's gonna be a very I don't know maybe 60-40 fighter for most of his career. I think because there will be guys that can clip that chin and defend a few takedowns. So great win for him, but like just I didn't see much to like made me really think that he was like improving per se. Um, Gufarov, man, Gufarov against Nakamura,
Another big favorite going down.
man, bro, there was parlay busters all throughout this card, and this was one of them. Gufarov really whooped his ass. Like, not much more to be said. Just to show that like that road to the UFC shit. Like, who are these guys? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked great, like in the lead up to this, and like to be fair, also Gufarov is also known to have like cardio issues, and I think that like they look pretty shored up in this fight. But I think that when you're all offensive for most of the fight, it's a lot easier to have decent cardio when you're dictating things. Um, Shout out Ricky Tercios. I mean, he gave a decent account for himself in there, even though he like lost.
Shout out to Pi, man.
Shout out Sopai, but shout out Tercios, man. I think that like he's gonna be able to stick around because he actually like has entertaining fights when he's in there. He's a wild man, and I mean, I enjoy watching him fight, even though I will be betting against him most times because he will lose most times. I think.
Hey, shout out. Hey, I love a good Aileen Perez fight, man. Let me tell you. Even though she beat Carol Rosa and I bet on her, like,
Exactly, but
she
like
proved herself. Like, I knew she was good going into this, so, like, she proved herself.
I like her for multiple reasons, man, and it's not about the OnlyFans. You know what I mean? But I mean, shout out her for that as well, and shout out her for the twerking. I do appreciate it
Come on,
from time
guys.
to time. But at the end of the day, like I love her style, man. I love me a good grappler. I thought that I thought that she was able to really I don't know, dictate everything, really dictate where everything took place in this fight. I thought that Carol Rosa was going to be a little bit more aggressive when they were standing up and like throw more hands. I thought that was where she had a decently sizable advantage is with the hands, and I thought that she was going to be able to keep Eileen Perez off her for long enough to win the striking exchanges. But I think that Perez kind of like got her down early, and then she kind of was a little gun shy for much of that fight, even though she did have her moments. But like Perez, like very clearly won that bitch. So like, shout out her, man. She's clearly making strides and improvement. So like, shout out her. Yeah, that's about it for me.
I can see her being a future champ. Bantamweight division,
You heard it here first.
Kayla
First,
Harrison's
guys.
not there, but, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, once she's up out of there.
All right, guys. Anything else on the card before we wrap things up?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Alrighty, well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our recap of UFC 311. It was a banger of a card. Thank you so much for giving us your time of the day. Please check out the TikTok, like, subscribe, leave some comments, let us know your thoughts on the fights, and we love the interactions. And thank you again.
Peace.
Peace.